Compiling a source book for a grade 10 to 12 design project is a key part of the design process and your final assessment. A source book shows how you developed your ideas, researched inspiration, explored materials, and refined your design. Think of it as a visual and written diary that proves your creative thinking and process. A source book is a visual and written documentation of your entire design process, from your first idea to your final product. It must clearly show your thinking, research, experimentation, development, and reflection. The first page of the source book will contain the project name, your name and grade, the date, subject, and your teacher's name. All right, let's get started with your design brief. This goes on page 2 of your source book. Give your project a fun title that reflects your idea. For example, Sit Loud, a pop art statement chair. Then, write your design problem clearly. Tell us what you're designing, who it's for, and why it matters. You should include who your client or audience is, maybe trendy teens or creative adults. The purpose of your product, is it just for sitting, or is it also a piece of art? And don't forget any limitations, like time, materials, budget, or size. Keep it clear, creative, and focused. This is where your big idea begins. For this video, we're going to use the brief, Sit Loud, a pop art statement chair. Page 3 of your source book will be your mind map, which will include central idea, inspiration, color scheme, textures, shapes such as speech bubbles, comic frames, potential words you can use like wow, zap, materials such as wood, foam, fabric, recycled plastic, etc. And the mood, fun, loud, quirky, bold, ironic. Page 4 will be your mood board, which will include visual elements such as comic panels with bold black outlines, speech bubbles saying wow or sit here, images of pop art style furniture, benday dot patterns and bold stripes, red, yellow and cobalt blue swatches, pop art cushions, cartoon style lamps, and images with captions such as these bold graphic lines will inspire my seat cushion design. Okay, now it's time for one of the most fun parts of your source book, visual research. This goes on page 5, and it's all about collecting inspiration that helps shape your design idea. So what should you include? Pictures of pop art furniture, bold patterns, color swatches, comic book textures, inspiration from artists like Roy Lichtenstein or the Memphis Group, and even small details like shapes, materials, or finishes that you love. You can print them, cut them from magazines, or create a digital collage. Just make sure your images are clear and connected to your idea. We want to see what's inspiring your pop art chair. Bonus tip: add short notes or labels next to each image to explain why it caught your eye. This page helps you build your style and guide your design choices. So have fun and make it visually exciting. Let's dive into page 6, Designer and Artist Influence. This is where you show how real artists help shape your design idea. First up, Roy Lichtenstein. He turned comic strips into fine art using bold outlines, flat colors, and those famous dotted textures. You'll see this influence in the graphic look of your chair panels, like something straight out of a comic book. Then there's the Memphis Group, especially designer Peter Shire. They loved using clashing colors, wild shapes, and playful, unexpected forms in their furniture. Their style inspired your chair's fun armrests and funky base. So this page is all about connecting your design to creative legends, showing how their style lives on in your own work. Now we're on to page 7, your sketches. This is where your ideas really start taking shape. And most importantly, you explore how to balance a sculptural look with real, comfy seating. Because yes, it has to look amazing and work as a chair. Let's move on to page 8, material testing. This is where you show how you experimented to find the best materials for your pop art chair. This page proves you're not just creative, you're a problem solver too. All right, we've made it to page 9, your final design plan. This is where everything comes together into your finished idea. Start by clearly showing your chair's dimensions, how tall it is, how wide, and how deep. This helps us understand how it fits into a real space. Next, list your materials, like wood, foam, fabric, vinyl, or even acrylic. Show that you've thought carefully about what works best. Then, describe any special features. Maybe it lights up, has detachable arms, or even includes comic-style text bubbles. And finally, highlight your key design features, like the bold colors, pop art patterns, or fun shapes that make your chair stand out. This page should feel like your big reveal, your chair in all its glory. So, what's the big deal with a tonal drawing? Well, it's all about bringing your design idea to life in 3D. This is your chance to show that you can truly see your creation, how it takes up space, how light interacts with it, and what it feels like. First up, you'll want to create a detailed pencil or ink rendering of your final chair. You can choose a front-on view or an angled view, whichever shows it off best. Now for the magic, shading. Use your shading to carve out the 3D form of your chair. Think about where the light source is. Where do the highlights hit? Where do the shadows fall? This will also help you show off different materials. Is it a glossy, reflective surface or a soft, matte fabric? Don't forget to add a ground shadow. The shadow your chair casts on the floor adds a fantastic touch of realism and really anchors your design in the space. Use tonal contrast to show the difference between materials. Think about how you can make a soft cushion look truly different from a hard, painted wooden leg. It's all in the way you shade. Why is this so important? Because a great tonal drawing proves your technical skill and your understanding of form and surface. It shows that you've thought about your design in a practical, realistic way. And now for the grand finale. Page 11 is all about showing off your final, finished product. This is the big reveal. You've got a few options here. You can either create a polished 3D digital render of your chair, build and photograph a hand-painted model, or do a painting of your image. Choose the one that best showcases your incredible design. Whichever you choose, make sure you present a clear close-up shot that really highlights the texture of the fabric and the finishes. We want to see all those beautiful details. And lastly, we've arrived at a crucial part of your design journey, the rationale and reflection. So what is a rationale? Simply put, it's your justification. It's the why behind all of your creative choices. This is where you connect the dots for us and explain the story of your design. You'll want to structure your rationale by answering a few key questions. First, what's the concept? Tell us about your main idea. What artists, designers, or movements inspired you? Next, think about functionality. How does your design meet the needs of the user? How is it a practical and comfortable piece of furniture? Then, talk about your materials. Why did you choose that specific wood, fabric, or finish? And finally, who is your audience? How does your design appeal to the taste of your ideal user? This is also your chance to reflect on your journey. Don't be afraid to talk about your process. What were your successes? Maybe you nailed that perfect color combination on the first try. What were your struggles? Perhaps you found it challenging to balance the visual appeal with the actual comfort of the chair. Being honest about your challenges and how you overcame them shows real growth as a designer. For example, you could talk about how you found a balance between vibrant pop art colors and a form that was still comfortable, or how you struggled with a specific technique but learned from it. Your rationale gives your design a voice. It proves that every choice was thoughtful and intentional. Take some time to reflect, be honest, and tell us the amazing story behind your work. And that brings us to the end of our guide on creating a powerful design sourcebook. We've walked through every step, from the initial inspiration and mood board to the final, stunning render and thoughtful rationale. Now remember, we focused on a chair for our journey today, but this process is universal. The principles we've covered can be applied to absolutely any design piece you're passionate about. Whether you're creating a high-fashion garment, designing a functional backpack, or even planning the entire layout and feel of a bedroom, this sourcebook structure will help you document your vision and process perfectly. Most importantly, think of this as a template, not a strict set of rules. This is your creative story. If you have extra research, another set of drawings, or any additional information that you feel strengthens your concept and tells your story more effectively, absolutely include it. In fact, we encourage you to add your unique touch. Your sourcebook is the ultimate celebration of your hard work and creativity. So take these ideas, make them your own, and build a portfolio you can be truly proud of. Thanks for watching, and happy creating.